A very good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning to my channel. This is your girl here racing your game. Thank you. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining in to watch my channel. And if this is your second time coming here and this is always your time coming here, thank you for always coming back to support my channel. I really appreciate that. If it's your first time here, please, after this video, do not forget to subscribe and click the like button. Anyway, the reason why I'm here today is because I just wanted to talk about my first impression traveling to Copenhagen in Denmark, how it felt like, when I stepped foot in Copenhagen. Was it good? Was it bad? Did it impress me? Did it make me feel so good? Is it the kind of place that I want to visit again? So those are the kind of questions that I want to tackle today in regards to Copenhagen. So just to get started, I would like to say that in June of this year, me and my sisters, we traveled. We came to Europe and we had to travel to 5 different countries. One of them was Germany. Second was Sweden. There was Spain. We went to Austria, and then we went to Copenhagen in Denmark. So anyway, I and my sisters, we had to go to Denmark specifically to go and visit my sister's late husband's graveyard, and we were supposed to travel to this town called Middelfart, which I kind of find that name a little bit weird. Like, it feels a little bit weird. Forgive my thoughts, the Middelfart thing. Forgive my thoughts, but that's just who I am. Like, I find it really funny. But we were supposed to go to Middelfart, but we had to first of all go through Copenhagen. And on that particular day, we took a train from Gothenburg in Sweden to travel to Copenhagen. And Lord, let me tell you, the moment we got to Copenhagen, oh my God, that place is amazing. The first stop at the train station, it was just the most beautiful, the most I rarely travel on trains, and just to tell you the truth, I live in an area where we don't have trains, and we basically just use private transportation. So if you want to use a train, you can either go to the city and it will take you to your different suburbs. But in my area, we hardly use trains. So it's more of the public transportation, the buses, the Ubers, and we also use our own private. So I'm kind of used to private transportation. So my first view, just getting into the getting into that the train platform, the train station of Copenhagen, oh my God, I just couldn't believe how amazing it was. The structures, it was built in it had some sort of historical theme to it, the love, the people who took the time to be able to craft that particular station just made they deserve some credit, even if they're no longer there, but I think they still deserve some sort of credit. And it was amazing, getting out of the train station, and now we had to walk to go and get to hire a vehicle to take us to Middelfart. And you know you're walking, and it felt yes. So we are walking, and what I found also that looked a little bit was a bit out of my normal comfort was, oh my God, the bikes. Copenhagen, I don't know, I've never seen so many bikes like that. I don't even know how people get to remember their bikes and all that, how they can remember, if you go there and park your bike somewhere in the morning or in that particular station in the morning, how are you even going to remember your bike? Because they all look the same. There were so many of them, and I couldn't even all I remember saying is, oh my God, this is just the most number of bikes I have seen in my entire life. And it was one of the things that I found a little bit odd, out of my comfort zone. I never see bikes like that in Australia, normally the only time I can see bikes is when I'm going to, like, for a ride with my sons, when we're going to do bike riding, which also I hardly do as much. And also when we have, like, those, like, the bike riders, there's always that season where people ride bikes, and I think it's during the springtime and all that. So there's so many of them, even so that's when I've seen bikes parked up in one particular spot during that time. And Copenhagen was also beautiful in the form of like, people are so friendly. Like, you're walking on the streets and suddenly someone just comes and says hello, and that kind of reminded me my first time, the first time when I landed in Australia. That was 1st of June in 2012. I've never experienced such kind of like, how do you call it, the kind of the way people appreciate you. Like, they know that you actually don't belong here. They know that you're a visitor, but the moment you walk on the street, someone just comes and says, like, hello, or even nods their head and in a way of saying hi. And to me, I've come from a country whereby people are always busy. We are constantly busy. You're going to look for money. In Kenya, you're constantly going to look for money. So if you walked on the street and then someone nods their head for you, or kind of like says hello, you'll be standing there and asking yourself, is this guy okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? So I found, like, the kind of the friendly nature of, like, the people in Denmark, in Copenhagen. It was just an amazing gesture. It was an amazing way of welcoming someone into, like, their own country, and I felt so welcomed. I felt so free. The town itself was so beautiful. It wasn't so congested. I loved their transport system as well. Like, it wasn't, like, so congested. It wasn't like, it's somewhere where you can just walk freely and you'll find shops all over. You'll find, whatever you need, the other thing I would say that I saw was, like, yeah, the friendliness of the people. And people are so beautiful. There's beautiful women, there's beautiful men, there's just amazing people there. But one thing I just want to talk about, being in Copenhagen, is the food, especially getting, like, a steak, getting a steak. It was so expensive. Like, you get a meal of steak, like, for that, if I had to convert the Danish, I think it's the Danish krona, to Australia, for the amount of food that I ate, which was, like, a very small amount of steak here with some 3 wedges of potatoes and just a little sauce, that costed me like $60, 60 Australian dollars, which in Australia, a steak could basically, if you had a meal of steak, possibly you'd be going for maybe around $40, or maybe, $40 for the meal or something like that, or maybe 45 if it goes more, or maybe $60. You go to these high-end hotels, or maybe kind of middle to high-end hotels and all that, but the food in Denmark was just way so expensive. And not just that, but we also went to this place called, I think it's more like a fast food, like McDonald's, but I can't remember the name of it. But it's more like McDonald's, but it's not McDonald's. It's called Max or something like that. I can't remember. But buying just the McDonald's, the burger itself was just costed us about close to $60. Like, in a meal, 2 meals costed us close to $60, which I found to be very, very high. But that did not limit me from, like, loving the place. And, I just loved its nature, the welcoming nature, and every single thing about it. And we left Copenhagen and went to Middelfart. And when we went to Middelfart, we suddenly got to my in-laws' graveyard, and we kind of struggled a lot to be able to find where he was buried, because my sister was not there when the husband was being buried, because of, like, there's a few things that prevented it to happen, But I remember, we had to look from one spot to the other, like, from one corner of the grave to just moving around trying to find his name. But the good thing is, just like I've said, this they just have this friendliness and, like, the friendly nature, being able to assist you and all that, the people in Denmark. So these ladies too, this lady, she works in the church. She comes and plays the piano in the church, where, like, when they have a funeral and all that. So she came and saw, like, we were struggling a lot, and she just wanted to know what was really happening. Why were we looked a little bit frustrated and all that. And she came and started asking questions, and she started helping us, try to find the place. And I think she must have been there when my in-law was getting, like, was being buried, and the ashes were being buried, because he was cremated, and she was there. So she told us this is the place, possibly this is where he could have been laid to rest, because she must have been there. And she started telling us the story of how she knew about it. And she also went, took her time to go and call, like, those people, the manager who takes care of the graveyard around that particular place, to just come and give us the exact place. And they really helped us so much, which was really, really good. It was amazing, and it was really, really great. And we kind of just felt so welcome. And personally, I would say I loved Copenhagen, and I would really, 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 really want to travel back to Denmark, because I still haven't explored most of the towns. I still haven't explored most of, like, the areas. And I know it was just for a short time, but that particular short time felt like a whole week of me spending time in Denmark. But I would really, really want to go back to Denmark. I would really, really love to. And if you would ask me if I would want to someday settle down in Denmark, I'm not sure yet, as at this moment. I'm still not sure yet. But until such a time that, I go and see how it is in the different towns, and, explore more and all that, and then I'll come and give you an answer. But so far, I would like to visit Denmark again. So my view on Denmark, my view on Copenhagen, it was an amazing place, and I would recommend any person who wants to go and visit, who wants to go to Denmark, please take your bags, pack your bags, and go to Denmark. So that is me for today. Thank you for watching my video. I really, really appreciate your time, and have a good weekend. It is a beautiful day for us here today in Melbourne, Victoria. We have the most beautiful sun. So if you're in Denmark or Copenhagen, please someday come and visit Australia. Come and visit Australia. And come and visit the Mornington Peninsula. And thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please do not forget to subscribe, and take care of yourself. Cheers.